Kevin Acosta here for giving you my post-match thoughts of Toronto FC 2, Inter Miami 0. After much speculation during the week of who would start to replace Captain Gregory, who was out, Phil Neville put out this lineup against Toronto. Neville had the Herons in a 4-2-3-1. The player that slotted in directly for Gregory was none other than Bryce Duke. The other change for this Inter Miami side was Harvey Neville getting the start, due to a DeAndre Yedlin who stayed home due to the imminent birth of his second child. Right away, you can notice that Toronto's pressure was causing Miami problems. Building out of the back was sloppy and resorted at times to long balls to Joseph Martinez to try to win. And Toronto's press would work, and it caused a corner or a set piece. Miami's defense was being way too reactive, with Toronto winning practically all the headers in the first half off set pieces. Inter Miami were able to create opportunities was through their fullbacks or wingers. As Toronto FC was very compact in the defending with the midfield and their defense. Pizarro would tuck in, Negri would slot in to cross. The opposite side with Coco Jean and Harvey Neville. The player that was most active, at least in the first half, and had the best opportunities for Inter Miami was none other than Stefanelli. Stefanelli who was very criticized the past few games for being able to feed Joseph Martinez, having had 2 shots on goal, forcing Sean Johnson to save both. Inter Miami were able to keep possession and break through some of Toronto FC's lines. Midfield would often displace passes, trying to play too quick, try to catch TFC off guard. Pizarro was having a tough time with Richie Larrea and Brandon Cervania cover him. Still, this game is showing that when a team sits back or is more cohesive in the defending, Inter Miami lacks that number 10, just like against New York City. There are not many opportunities made. By the end of the first half, Miami finished with just 3 shots on target. The second half, Miami had more possession of the ball, but quickly, a turnover where Negri was too far up. McVeigh went to cover left back, Mota left center back, Christoph right back, and Harvey Neville. Ernestki finds an overlapping run of Richard Larrea, crosses it, and Jonathan Osorio scores. Nothing that Drake Callender can do about that one. After that, Miami were able to get to the final third, but lacking the final pass, any ideas to unlock that defense. Time Joseph Martinez would drop to try to receive the ball in the half spaces. Rosted or Hedges, Michael Bradley would drop in, try to eliminate the passing lane, thus making Joseph Martinez again ineffective. You see here, this is where Joseph Martinez had his touches. Majority outside the box, the same situation that happened with Higuain before Pozuelo had arrived to Miami. There's various times throughout the game where him and the other attacking players were not on the same page. And in the 69th minute, off a set piece for Toronto FC, scored the second goal. Through a Mark Anthony K header that lobbed it over Callender, a Callender who looked like he was a little far off his line. And by then, Phil Neville had made some substitutions. Rodolfo Pizarro would come off for Taylor. Try to give more spark to that offense. Taylor is much better in 1v1 situations and drives more like a traditional winger down the line. While it was a tough match for Inter Miami, they had some chances to score, and unlike the first 2 games at home, we're not able to capitalize them. Miami's not creating more than a few chances. This is something that Phil Neville will look to improve the squad. Some players will be leaving due to international break. See how they can course correct and get back to the winning ways against Chicago at home.